Hello all, this is Javon with More Than a Sign, and I hope you guys and women, are having a blessed day, blessed night, and a blessed life. And today's topic is going to be about the patience of love. A few weeks ago, I had watched Ruth and Boaz on Netflix. I believe it's a Tyler Perry show, and at the time, I didn't know that it was a story in the Bible. It's called Ruth. And the Tyler Perry show is actually a branch from the biblical story Ruth. And it just brought so many thoughts in mind, because great things always come with patience. And it could be with jobs, it could be with friendships, relationships, partners. It could be with finances. It could be with skill sets. All these things require time. They require time, discipline, and commitment to them, and the reward is so fruitful. But the story in the Bible, now that I read it maybe twice, it really tied in the Ruth and Boaz story from Tyler Perry. So Naomi and her husband, I believe it starts with an E, but it was hard for me to pronounce, so I'm not going to try to butcher that. But Naomi's husband and their two sons had passed away, and it was Ruth and Oprah that were so Naomi, Ruth, and Oprah are all widows because Naomi's husband passed away, and then Naomi's two sons, which were married to Ruth and Oprah, also passed away. So Naomi essentially decided that she was going to go to her homeland, and she wanted Ruth and Oprah to basically leave her alone, and told them to find new husbands because she didn't have the time, and also she was too old to create sons for them. I wouldn't say the too old part, but really the time, because Naomi's not concerned, but she faced the reality of if Naomi was to find a new person to have kids with, they weren't going to wait that long to reproduce with those kids that they had. And they meaning Ruth and Oprah. So Ruth and Oprah made the commitment to always stay with her until death does its part. But the tie-in with the Tyler Perry, there was multiple quotes with that Ruth and Boaz movie. I think I said TV show earlier, but it's a movie. And one of the quotes that, not even one, let me pull my phone out because I don't want to misquote this. So one of the quotes, it says, "Sometimes God's angels don't wait for an invitation. They show up when you want to be alone." And that's quoted from the Ruth and Boaz movie by the Tyler Perry. Oh man, this is so true. It'd be multiple times when you could be depressed, you could be in this deep thought, unaware and unsure where to go, and it's always somebody that pops up out of nowhere that you never heard of, and they check up on you, and it's like, yeah, it's the person texting you, but really it's the man, it's the God, it's the angel that's checking up on you. It's very outstanding how this stuff works, and I'm getting real warm just thinking about it, because this happens to me time and time again. At the times where I want to be most alone, there's always somebody that, hey, and that somebody's the God. Another quote from the Ruth and Boaz movie is, "The best love stories don't start in fireworks, they start in the ashes." Oh my. Ooh, man, that hit home. Okay? I feel like I feel like, and I know that the only right time is God's time. And what makes love so sweet is that there's so many people in the world. There's so many different situations. There's so many things and uh, so many things that can happen that can lead you up to the person that you love, and you might even already know them. And it's just that they could be taking that time to develop, and you could be taking that time to develop, and then at some point in time, you guys are going to intersect. And it's crazy because God knows when, God knows who, and you're just living life, and just when you start questioning, like, man, where is she, where is he? It's like when the time is right, you won't even have to look for it. It's right in your face, and he's just handing it to you, and you just have to be aware of the signs, like I said in the previous video. Okay, let's go back to the biblical story. So Ruth goes out and harvests for Boaz one day, and Boaz was already made aware of the things that she was doing for Naomi since her husband passed, and he was also made aware of his situation. So Boaz did everything in his power to make up, not even make up, but to give back for what she was doing for Naomi. So there was somebody that was more on a there was somebody that was closer. There was somebody that was a closer relative than Boaz, but Boaz was next in line. So back then, if you wanted to accept somebody's land, you had to also marry the relative that was associated with that land. And the one guy couldn't do it. So Boaz was next in line, and then they had a transaction where he had to give his sandal, and then there was also other witnesses around. So once he did that, those two got married, and they had a kid. The kid name, I believe, is Obed. Yep. And then Obed either had Jesse or David. It's either Obed had Jesse and then Jesse had David, or Obed had David and then David had Jesse. But it's crazy how three traumatic experience happened, and boom, the man puts this traumatic situation into blessings. Let me say that again. When you're patient, good things happen. And I've been through this all the time where, like, let's say if I'm late for work and I'm rushing, and it's like the lights is always red. I don't get those green lights. But when I'm patient and I'm calm and I'm on time, it's like green. You know? It's crazy. But yeah. And I honestly think God is talking to me now with this patience. You know, he's having me practice it, and he's also sending me signs. And it could be love signs too. Seeing some people, talking to some people, and you have to be aware and alert too, because sometimes the devil can send you signs, and these signs could be forms of lust. Okay, you would be so far into seeing lust that you actually miss the opportunity of seeing love, of experiencing love with the one that you're supposed to be with. So that's why you choose wisely, you stay patient. You will know when the time is right, because it will be right in front of you. Got to be patient. And being patient is a skill. It's a very, very useful skill. You know, Michael Jordan didn't come that player he was in one day. And he didn't come out the womb like that. LeBron James, all these great players, NFL, basketball, artists, Michael Jackson, you know, all these big influencer people didn't do this stuff overnight. It took time. It took patience. And you have to fall in love with that journey also. And when you fall in love with that journey, it just makes that reward so much greater than it is, because you know where you started from. Oh, man. All these events, I'm so happy that it led me to picking up the Bible. Man, just hear that. There's a certain, I got a certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Certain appreciation for nature now. You know, sitting in the silence, observing. You know, when things happen, it's not like, why? It's like, okay, God, you talking to me. You talking to me. You just telling me to be a little bit more patient. You already got something working for me that I can't see right now, because I'm not you. You know, you working for me. But yeah, this is Javon with More Than a Sign, and I hope you all have a blessed day, blessed night, and a blessed life.